tease you with it, I think they'll just kill you outright.
Crude can't be heretics, Erden. God damn
You
it.
can be a heretic.
No,
Crude, you're already
can't.
a heretic.
No, Crude can't. They're not psychically active like that. They're not connected to the warp. They can't be heretics.
You are though.
They can be Dinos, which are treated illegally unless they're sanctioned like me, but they can't be like full-on chaos heretics. That's not how Crude work.
I'm ready to start.
Same thing with orcs. Like orcs can't really. You don't see any orcs worshiping. Even though that'd make a lot of sense, they don't work like that. They worship Gork and Mork, which are objectively better than the Chaos Gods, if you ask me. Like, I don't remember exactly which book it in, but at one point, Gork beat the living shit out of Slaanesh and then just kind of left Slaanesh effectively dead as far as Chaos Gods go to lick its wounds because he got bored because it stopped squirming in pain. Don't fuck with the orc gods.
Yeah, but Slaanesh, does that really count?
It does, though, because Slaanesh is a squirmy piece of shit.
See, you tried that shit with corn.
I mean, it doesn't
put that on pay-per-view.
It doesn't count if the Chaos God likes it.
That's fair. See, the thing is, though, Traffic, is that despite how many violent motherfuckers there are in the universe, there's probably more orcs because fungus. Gork and Mork are the best Chaos Gods. Oh, I don't have any coffee. Oh well. No coffee for me.
You want to take a sec to make one?
No coffee.
I mean, yeah, I could do that.
That's heretical.
It'll take a second, and as a second, I mean like maybe 2 minutes. I'll be super fast.
Yeah, take as much time, grab some drinks if you need, and get on with it. I'm still reading, making sure I have all the character sheets set up.
Oh, good. Many character sheets. I like the sound of that. Hold on. I think you may have put up a character sheet on my account. Or what? Who's Fiola Autalharos?
That's me.
Oh.
Wait, what? Why are you in my character sheets?
I don't know. I just renamed. I saw a yet to be named under mine. Oh, is that the ship name?
Oh, that is a ship name. God, who changed your ship name to a character name?
I thought that was my backup. Okay, yeah, I see the one titled backup now. It just said yet to be named, and I thought we already named the ship.
No, we never got. Actually, we can do that, I guess, while he makes coffee, because fuck his decision. Thinking, what do you guys want to name the ship?
I mean, that's a good name for a ship right there.
Really just rolls off the tongue.
So that was gonna be your name.
We wasted like 2.5 hours coming up with a ship name. I figured we at least did it right by that point.
So what are we naming it?
Call it the Emperor's Claymore. How's that?
Boring.
Meh.
Right, so we have one vote for Emperor's Claymore.
All right, let's see. So I went and I searched ship name, and of course it gave me relationship name generator. Because that's exactly what I was looking for.
I have returned. I'm ready.
All right. While you were away, they're wrapping their heads around trying to figure out the good ship name. So if you have anything, by all means.
The Wrathful Spirit.
No.
We're better than Horus. We're wrathful, not vengeful.
God damn.
Only assholes are vengeful.
Can we name it the Fortune?
Good ship name.
The Fortune?
I'm on. Well, no, I need to put myself to push to talk because streaming. So
Ah, fuck you. Yeah, I'm gonna put my vote in for the Fortune because we're so fortunate.
I mean, I feel like the name ship number 1 would be better. It'd be more creative, at least.
Just Russian curse mobile.
Russian curse mobile. It's called Blatmobile. Get
Mobile.
it right.
I'm sorry.
Golden Lions wouldn't fix. It's going to be painted red soon.
I mean, yeah, but then if like orc ships don't really have a name at all because most orc ships are
Red.
disposable. I don't like you, and not most. And I'll have you know, we're not painting it red. We're painting it purple.
No, it's got to be red because we have orcs on board, which means it'll go faster.
Yes, but purple is also an orc color.
Which does what?
But
It
purple
makes it
ones
hard.
don't go faster.
Yeah, you're right. Purple ones are invisible.
But red
I think I'm
makes go
joking.
fast. Red makes go fast.
Invisible, Erden. I thought you would be all about that, Mr. Murder Hobo.
But go fast.
Can we do a combination of both?
Zoom zoom.
Wait a
the
second,
best of
Erden.
both
You know
worlds.
what? You don't get to carry into this. You're not an orc.
I can be an orc inside. I feel like an orc.
You ain't one of the boys.
I
We
feel
the
like
boys. You ain't the boys.
All right. So instead of wasting probably 5 hours on and still not coming up with anything, let's just call it U-Boat 2.0 for now, and then we figure this out offline.
That works.
Yep.
Okay. If you're ready.
I'm never ready for this group, but I'll try.
I mean,
All right. So does anyone remember what happened last time?
yes. We went to a planet in search for some sort of artifact our rogue trader assigned us to get. We went down, spent, I believe, 5 hours trying to find the village, which was only a few hundred meters away. We got there about 8, 9 o'clock at night. We searched the village, found this ruins. Inside the ruins, we found 2 rooms. We searched those rooms, found nothing except the second room had a hole in it. So for about half an hour, we pondered on what should we do. And our psychic that was with us actually left us and went searching for things and found a cave. So what we thought is it was getting late, so we thought we should get back to the ship. We headed out around 10 o'clock at night. It took us about 8 hours to get back to the ship, so, we spent the night looking for the ship, basically, which was still about a few hundred meters away. Sent some messages to the ship, to our main ship. Got our orders, went back, met up with the guy. We got a navigator down, of course, to navigate the surface, which only took us about half an hour to get to the cave. Went inside the cave, searched around, found some hieroglyphic nonsense, which we found out were doors. So we went through 2 of those, found some weird tiger or lion snakes, killed many of them. The big lion snake that was, hiding back there, he kind of ran away, or she kind of ran away. I tried chasing her, found some of her eggs, took them with me. We found the book, which was the artifact that we needed. Brought the book back to the ship. Brought the eggs. Some people were kind of scared of the eggs, so I left them outside. And our crude boy decided to eat them, gained some corruption, and we left. Went to Footfall.
And to add the crucial missing details, we were hired by Eldar and found primitive Eldar script that made no sense on the planet.
Yeah, the hieroglyphs. I don't know.
Which,
I don't read
mean-
hieroglyphs.
Yeah, never mind. Never mind.
That is what we did last time.
Although you get 10 XP for the recap.
Yay. You know, last time I never got to 100 XP, I got to 90. I was very annoyed.
I'll be sure to make it 95 before I kill your character.
It was very fun. I'm like, yes, we're about to get 10 more. Next session, I'm about to buy something with this.
Alright, so I do believe we left off after a quite eventful shopping spree in Footfall as well. I think people
Yes.
got things and failed miserably to get other things.
Storm Shield. Alright,
Yes,
Catherine.
everyone's aware. I still don't have a storm shield.
He was. I'm honestly. He was probably more referring to the poor lady here who felt all of the acquisitions.
Did she? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Would you like some organ grinder rounds?
No.
Just to make you feel better?
Say no.
Say yes.
What do they do?
If you shoot someone and do damage to them, you get to roll. If they fail a toughness test, you get to roll 2d10 rending damage on them. So just more. It basically grinds their insides.
Ew.
Hence the organ grinder. Would you like a few clips?
Why are you telling me no? Zap.
He just doesn't like me.
I mean, the way I have a really long, very angry rant about it, but I'm gonna save it because we need to play the game.
Okay.
I'm giving her 3 clips of organ grinder rounds to do.
How many do you have?
100 clips at any time.
No, hang on.
Wait, at any time.
Well, anytime we get to the
You
ship.
carry 100 clips. God damn.
No, on the ship.
So how many did you requisition? Because you keep screwing this one up all the
So
time.
that one I requisitioned with a 0 modifier. It was a minus 30, which is, I believe, 50 to 100.
What about rareness?
It was extremely rare. That's why it was a minus 30. It was minus
But
30.
but that doesn't have to do with how many you get.
Yeah,
It
so he
does, if I got
he
standard.
acquisitioned up between 50 to 100. So
Yes.
he can give between 50 and 100 people -1 because of himself organ grinder rounds. And
Yes.
you have that as a permanent thing. You can just restock whenever you want it when you get back to the ship.
That's what I was saying.
No, you were saying individual clips. This is
Oh, okay, I'm
bit
sorry.
different.
I would like
And
to give
the
her
magazines,
only.
not clips. Get it right.
Sorry, I would like to give her organ grinder rounds. You can write that down in your gear. No one else, because everybody else hates me for doing something in a different world or something. I don't know, different reality.
Can't use organ grinder rounds with a chain fist.
Or think about this: you attach them to your knuckles, so when you punch someone, the organ grinder rounds blow up and grind their organs.
See, I'm not
Traffic.
American. So
I don't know about you, but I'm not in favor of tanking for Erden anymore.
See, while I'm not American, so maybe I just don't understand weapon and ammunition as much as the rest of you, but I don't think that's how bullet works.
I don't know, man. enough pressure, the bullets go off from his fist. They get inside someone's body, grind
What
their
about
organs
his
up.
fist?
His fist is, he has a chain fist. He has enough
I know, and it
armor.
fucks up the chain fist.
Nah.
Yeah, that's just not possible.
It'll be a one-shot thing. Just he wants to do it in one time.
I want to sacrifice. No.
You can requisition
No.
another chain fist.
No.
Okay, let's continue. Before
Right,
we
so
get
lady,
to...
if you want, you can add organ grinder rounds to your character sheet, and I can, or
Yeah, I feel bad that you got nothing, so I'm like,
Conrad can give you the relevant pages and stats
yep,
for them.
I
if you want.
will give you all those. You want to read more about them?
But-
Do you have Into the Storm?
I do.
All right, give me one moment to find the page.
But yeah, like I said, it's optional if you want to accept the gift or not.
I'll take it for now and
Give it back later.
think and and think of and look them over and
Page 129 of Into the Storm.
Yeah, you can always toss them out in the airlock if they get bothersome. But yeah,
It's so
so
mean.
that's
And
true.
does the
Nobody said-
what is the quantity or does that what is that?
It just
It's about-
replaces your standard ammo.
Yeah,
Just
you can either
replace
use
the
standard
standard.
ammo or those ammo.
Okay.
Unless they're
Alright,
fire selected.
I'll look them up later. So I
Mhm.
So is there anything else you wish to do at Port Wonder? As far as I know, you basically just went there and then decided to go shopping, and then that's what we did, I think.
Yep, that's about it. You guys want to do anything else? I am a mutant that does not like to leave the ship too much.
I'm okay.
Right, so first of all, can all of you roll me who is actually going outside into footfall, and roll me a what is it, inquiry?
I can give inquiry a shot.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay,
going out.
watching you. How did you get the weapons then? You didn't go out.
Well, I thought you said this is after we got the weapons. I came back in.
No,
And I don't wanna
this-
risk-
This roll happens while
Oh,
you're going
okay.
shopping.
Sorry.
Okay,
I thought this
so
was after we went shopping, so I will roll
Roll.
an inquiry then. Basically, everyone that went shopping.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad roll for me considering I only have 11 for inquiry.
Actually, depending on what we're trying to inquire about, I may have gotten below -10, which isn't mathematically possible. So
Did you all just fail?
Yes. Cornelius failed with a 0.01, so if he fate points that, he could pass, and Gwen can also pass.
I
I'm doing.
think you have to fate point before the roll to get 10%,
I
or to
didn't
get plus
see that
10.
exactly.
That's because you're blind.
I am blind, so I gotta read that
I
again.
agree.
Shush. Don't talk
I
to
mean,
me.
it's true. But
You
yeah,
know
so
what?
none of you managed to pick up any interesting rumors while you were out and about. So
Okay.
you come back to the ship, stash all your stuff that you got. And I think, so Cornelius, you're the seneschal, if I do remember correctly.
Yes.
All right. So I think the ship is staying at port for a couple of days, just restocking and doing some minor repairs and such. So I think at one point, from point where you undock to the point where you come back from, or from the shopping in reverse order, the captain comes and finds you somewhere. What do you have any idea what you're doing at this point when the captain comes to you?
Yeah, I'll be looking over some figures of supplies and helping with deciding which sort of mundane equipment and supplies that we need to pick up while we are in port as the rogue trader approaches me.
Excellent. So I think, you see her in the usual uniform, dark purple uniform with golden trims everywhere and epaulets. Basically, so the way I'm imagining her like dress uniform kind of thing would be like what you would see an admiral, like a high-ranking, highly decorated admiral in the navy, just chest full of medals, epaulets, like all the accoutrement that comes with such a lauded station. And probably a commissar hat for no good reason, or something that looks similar to it. Dark purple, black sunshade, and golden trim on everything. And she approaches you, and she says, "Well, there you are. I've been looking for you."
Yes. Is there anything I can help you with?
Absolutely. I need you to fetch me something on the station while we're still here.
Sure. I can. I'll see to it and make it my highest priority.
That's what I like to hear. Fetch the others and swing by Villiers Trade Emporium. He owes me a little something.
Oh shit, traffic,
Alright.
we're going back.
I will gather the others
Mother-
immediately, and
You guys are so unreliable.
at that I give a quick sort of salute, and then turn around and vox the others and say, "Hey, is everyone available on the Vox network?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are to meet at a trade emporium. You can find me on the dock. We can all move as one group under Rogue Trader's orders.
Yeah, before you head off, before you turn and make the call, she hands you a rolled up parchment with like a dark purple ribbon, silk ribbon kind of thing, containing something. It's a parchment, sheet of parchment with the stamp of the dynasty. And yeah, he says, bring that to Villiers. He will know what it means.
All right. Yeah, I nod as at the point that she dismisses me.
Yep. And after that, she walks out the room again.
Yeah, so all of you meet at the docking area, I assume.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll lead the way to the trade emporium then.
Do you bring any of the armsmen with you?
I think I'll say. Do you guys think we need any armsmen? I think we'll be fine on our own.
I mean, we're in a space station, so we shouldn't have them.
We're in footfall.
Yeah, you're sorry. We're at footfall.
I mean, it's bound to be dangerous since they allow cons in here, but it's still a station.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no illegal though.
All right. So you all, as a unit, head out on the docks. And yeah, it takes you maybe 20, 30 minutes or so of walking through all the usual and unusual tunnels. Like a couple of points here and there, gravity loses all sense of politeness and just stops working completely. So you're, at a point you're swimming through the air, and the next you're walking in the ceiling. It's a bit of an eventful journey, really, but you get there without too much issue. Maybe a scraped knee or some such, but otherwise in pristine condition. Yeah, as you move along the tunnels, you hear some excited talk. People seem to be in a good spirit these days, some reason or another.
Wait,
You
why are
can't-
people happy? Hold up now.
Yeah, I was just getting to that, but you can't really make out why they are, in a good spirit around these parts. But yeah, there seems to be a bunch of flyers, posted on the walls, and leaflets dropped on the floor and such. And you see there is some, the poster kind of looks like a brutish man, shirtless, very muscular man, wielding a chainsaw in one hand, fighting what looks to be a characterized version of a Grox that's rearing up with, trying to stomp down on the man. And underneath it says, bright red letters, the carnage and carnival of footfall. And then there has a couple of dates. Which you all know to be in a couple of weeks or so. For the first one, it seems to be a recurring event every month or so.
This seems like something that we might be interested. I mean, I can't speak for the rest of y'all, but I think this seems like my kind of thing. This seems like a good place to go get a taste of the local cuisine.
Yeah, we could try it.
I'll try it, all right.
I'm gonna diet. I'll grab a drink though.
Make a note of the dates.
Yeah, the first one seems to be like 2-3 weeks from now. And then next month, and reoccurring once every month kind of thing.
I will pocket this flyer and bring it to the Lord Trader at our next meeting. See if it can be worked in.
All right. Yeah, the particular flyer you pick up have the bottom part ripped off rather. So it says like this event sponsored by, and then it's underneath it says EU, and then it just fades off because the page was ripped.
Can I look around for
Yeah.
someone who has a complete flyer and then use
Or on another wall.
then shut up. Can I look around for someone who has a complete flyer and then just take it from them? Scare them away of my spooky ass alienness.
Yeah, I mean the closer you get to the trade emporium, and I'm assuming, and like I'm imagining this to happen as you notice all of this stuff as you're walking towards the trade emporium, right? Yeah, along the way, because the location of the emporium is closer to the center, so it gets more populated the closer you get. So I think you can definitely find someone who's excited talking about this with a group of friends or something. You can just walk over and snatch the flyer.
All right.
But yeah,
No.
yeah.
I wanna find someone who's just super overjoyed about this. Walk up behind him and lick his neck, telling him he tastes good and he should give me the flyer.
Why do you want
Yeah.
this flyer so badly?
Because I want to know all the fucking information, unlike your unstrategic ass.
I mean, you can look around. Probably there's another flyer. You don't have to lick.
Fuck you! I want to take it from someone.
Disgusting bird boy.
Me
So, yeah.
disgusting
Continue.
fucking mutant.
You see a couple of like street rat kids or young teenagers,
Tasting
clustered.
kids now.
Probably 4 or 5 of them in a cluster, just super excited, talking, holding the flyers, pointing at it, and imagining what it's going to be like in the games. hyping up way more than the PR firm could ever do. Yeah, do you want to walk up to them and grab it?
Yeah, I just want to like reach down into the group because I'm so much fucking taller than the rest of them and just take it.
Can we call Dateline?
And so you reach over and just yank it out of their hands, and the other team probably like, let's say 5 for good measures around now, but yeah, one of them, like the 4 others who are standing when they're standing in the cluster, right? They see you approaching and they just go completely pale faced and wide eyed. And the teenager who's back is you, who you took it from, like he's like, hey, it was mine, and then he turns around, preparing for a fight, mentally preparing for a fight. Sees you like towering above him, and he just pale face, wide eyes, is just trembling in fear at this sight of the horrific scene.
I want to crouch down, get real close to its ear and tell him it's mine now, and then walk away.
As you walk away, like the rest of you, if you're looking, you see him like absolutely trembling, just like a leaf in a hurricane kind of a situation. And the others are just completely dumbfounded by what the hell happened.
All right, and now that I'm done scaring the kids, what is the part of the flyer that I wasn't able to see before say?
I wrote it in Roll20, so that's what the bottom of the flyer says.
All right. I stick it in my Crute fanny pack. Actually, I just unzip my hollow suit a bit and just slide it into the hollow suit to ask the road trader about later.
All right.
Now that I think about it, because of the nature of the hollow suit, that would be terrifying. Like more so than a normal Crute coming up behind you. A Crute in latex that's shimmering the air around them coming up behind you. Ugh. Like skin tight latex bird dude.
I mean, I'm as much for skin tight latex as the next person, but this whole chicken person, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I'm just making a note about the thing so I can figure it out later. Do some extra work.
I'm honestly wondering though how tight this hollow suit is, because I mean it's basically a full body suit made for an Eldar. And Eldar are tall, but they're not that tall. They're not 8 feet tall.
I mean, I'm kind of assuming here that once you acquire a suit of armor, it's suitably modified to you. Like if you use it, get it through acquisition. If you just loot it of a body, then it's gonna be ill-fitting.
Yeah. I like to think that I went in, that at some point before the game started on the timeline, I went into an Eldar armor shop and I was like, I want a hollow suit. Kind of looked around and then sewed 2 hollow suits on top of each other and gave it to me.
That is oddly disturbing, but I'll take it. Right. So you have scared some kids, and you have acquired a flyer with your free acquisition. Congratulations.
Anyway, if I kind of turned to the party and was like, I'm happy now. I've acquired a flyer. We can continue to the trade emporium.
All right.
All right.
I'm glad to see business is concluded.
Right,
We
so
weren't
you-
supposed to be inconspicuous, were we?
What are you talking about? I look just like the next Groot.
yes, and you don't see many of those around, do you?
No.
All right. So you move on at a leisurely pace to the trade emporium, and slight note from last time you were. Let me rephrase that. Slight change from last time we, as a viewer, saw this, because the players has never been here before. Instead of them, in addition to the massive warehouse structure that we see here, we also see like there's a couple of smaller boutiques around, clustered around it, and there doesn't seem to be a obvious entry, a doorway and such into the warehouse, but instead you see one of the smaller, like adjacent shops have the Village Trade Emporium logo and the sign above it. Yeah, there's a couple of people just lounging around in the general area. There's a couple of street vendors, selling the street foods and some merchandise and such. The usual stuff you would find on a busy street. Maybe a street performer or so, playing some instrument or juggling or some such. Yeah, do you step in or you look around for a bit and see if you can scare more people?
I think I want to go into the trade emporium, then my tall ass down and go through the human-sized door.
I mean, the doors are a bit taller than a normal human building, but it's not like Space Marine size on the doors. But yeah, you all embark on the epic journey through the doorway, and you step into the quaint little corner shop where you see a corpulent man with a waxed goatee and slicked back combed hair, wearing a absolutely despicably ornate robe of golden trims and crimson silk.
All right, so that guy wearing the fancy robe, is he? I assume he's towards the front of the sort of lobby room that we are in right now.
Yeah, so when you come in, right, you have at the back of the smaller shop, you have the checkout counter, and that's where he stands behind the counter, And then along the walls, like along the floor, say aisles basically, you have display cases of various items and curiosities.
All right, so I will walk up to the counter and I will present the scroll that I was handed by the rogue trader. Say, I'm here on business on behalf of the. Hold on, let me. I need to look at my notes. What's our dynasty name again?
Thane.
And yes, I am. I am Cornelius Lysander. I am Cornelius Lysander. I am here on behalf of the Thane dynasty, and then I present the scroll with the seal.
Yeah, he graciously accepts it and he says, "Well, greetings to you, Lord Cornelius. I am Villius, the humble owner of this establishment. You are most welcome." And he gives, a bow. And he, as he, rises himself up and looks at you, and then with a very genuine smile of delight that someone as someone with as shiny hair as you would grace his little corner shop. He seems very pleased with this.
He likes
And then-
that fair head boy.
And then he looks over to the rest of the party, gives Gwen a appreciative nod as well. And he swiftly dismisses Maine as nothing more than hired muscle kind of thing. And then he eyes fall on the Crute and the tech priest, and his face, you can see like a very clear change in expression. He going from the like, you are all welcome to my store, to, oh God, why is there Xenos filth in here? That kind of thing.
How many times is this old man going to be needed to taught a lesson?
I want to do like the whole like point at my eyes and then point at his eyes thing with my hand.
Yeah, he pointedly ignores your efforts to get his attention. And he waves over assistant, and he unfolds the scroll real quick to just look over it and hands it to his assistant to go fetch it. And you see him like walk back in a back room. And then you hear there's some other people in the warehouse section. There's a door to the side, like basically an open double door into the warehouse. And if you look through the door, you see like some of the larger objects that wouldn't fit in the smaller, corner shop in the display cases there, like a suit of power armor, for example, stuff like that, tapestries for a Grand Hall or a Starship Bridge, for example. And while he waits for the assistant to come back, and he says, my lord, if it wouldn't be too much of an issue, I would prefer to have the pets wait outside. They do make such a mess of the carpet.
I wanna stand up, walk over to the man, and announce myself as Kants of the Heroth Kinsmen, working under the trade dynasty of Thane, and I will stay in this goddamn building.
He doesn't break eye contact with you, Cornelius, as the crew is getting a bit uppity.
Yeah, he so I will graciously deflect and say, well, this particular Xeno happens to be happens to be sanctioned by the Imperium, and I could ask him to give us some space, but ultimately it's up to him to decide whether or not he should choose to wait outside. And so I look over to Kant and say, Kant, would you mind giving us some space?
Fuck this! I'm gonna go eat a dog. I'm gonna go stand outside somewhere and go find someone's pet to eat.
Find out if he has a pet.
And I wanna, and yeah. I'm gonna stand outside and go eat some shit. I don't know. Go fuck with the street performer. See if I can make them fuck up.
Yes, you quickly leave the establishment in your stealthy ways. And you step outside. There's a bit of a crowd around the street performer. And there's actually a pair of them. One is, so there is an older woman playing some sort of string instrument. And there is a younger man, probably like an old teenager or some such, maybe young adult, mid, like early 20s, doing some spirited dancing to the string music.
I'm gonna go dance with them and show them my ethnic Groot ways.
All right. So you promptly walk over there and start doing the crew jig, and everyone is either horrified or impressed by it.
After dancing, I'm just gonna like go fuck around in the alleyway or something and see if I can find something to eat. It's been a few hours.
Right. I'm just gonna have a quick look at something.
Oh no!
You can roll me an awareness while I look this up. See if you find any suitable prey that will be of service to your hunger. Yeah, this is site-based awareness. So whatever bonus
shit.
you have on that.
I have the heightened senses, so that'd be a 2.9.
All right. Yeah, you do find some like stray animals and such you can quickly devour, and maybe a couple of young street rat kids. And if you want to have those for a snack.
Yeah.
afterwards.
I'll take the I'll eat the kids.
Excellent. Yeah, they scream a bit, but they ultimately don't put up much resistance that you would consider any hassle. So you quickly devour them in short order.
I want to keep some of the blood to wipe on the door when we leave.
Excellent. Yeah, the performer skill, which you would need to do some like sick dance moves and such. Well, it's an advanced skill, so you can't do that because.
Well, that's why I was doing the crew. That's why I was doing the crew dance, because no one's gonna know the crew dance. So if I just dance badly, I can tell them it's one of my native dances, and they won't know.
Oh yeah, that's some solid thinking right there. You do real credit to your intelligence score, right? But yeah, after the Crude storms out in his hollow suit ways, the assistant comes back in after maybe half a minute or so, and you see Vilius. He seems a bit more, cheerful now that the filthy Xenos has left the establishment. And yeah, the assistant comes back and gives him the package, and he looks at it, make sure it's intact, all the wrappings and such. And yeah, he hands it to you, Cornelius, and says, your custom order, my lord. I hope you will find it pleasing.
Most appreciated. We appreciate doing business with you.
Likewise, my lord. And gives you a bow again.
Yep. I nod to him in return, and I turn around and say, all right, we will now make our way back to the ship unless any of you have other business here.
Nope.
All right. We should find Kantz and head back home. So I make my way out of the shop, and do I see Kantz?
I am currently leaving an alleyway with a rag that wet with something that you can only assume to be not good, and I'm wiping it on the walls at the front of the trade emporium.
All right. So I say, Kantz, we're heading back to the ship.
All right. I spit out a little bit of that half digested kid at the door and walk off.
All right.
Bird powers, man. I'm salty. I got kicked out, man.
You didn't have to leave.
Yeah, but I can't fuck up too much because I am the first officer. I have to set an example. Doesn't mean
You
I
just
have to be
ate a
nice
kid.
about it.
You literally just ate
No.
a kid.
We're in space in the year 40,000, and that kid was homeless.
No, that's no.
Homeless kids deserve to be eaten. Heard it here first.
This is a wild, wild place, and it's survival of the fittest. And I so happen to be considerably more fit than any human ever will be.
Except for me.
I will eat you slowly and to slowly replace bits of machine, but not so
Okay,
much that I
relax,
can't kill
relax.
you with a virus
Let's get back to the
grenade
ship.
later.
Let's get back to the ship. While he grumbles about himself.
All right, you all start heading back to the ship, and yeah, as you leave, if you have the insight or foresight enough to look over your shoulder, you see the front of the trade emporium is covered in a streak of blood that someone has left there, and then some half-digested piece of meat, both with some skin and hair on it still. And yeah, as you're about to leave the area, you hear a high-pitched shriek of horror as someone most likely has looked over their shoulder and looked to the trade emporium and seen the carnage left by the door. And there seems to be some commotion going on, and people, shouting, and yeah, there's some crying, and it's the usual. Oh God, God, Emperor, please think of the children, and all the good stuff.
It's okay, guys. If anyone has any questions, I can tell them it was for the greater good.
That is just a horrible way to quickly get murdered.
Listen, man, I may not be able to eat the Tau, but that doesn't mean I can't use them as an excuse.
That's a good point. I'll give you that. But yeah, you leave the area swiftly as there is some slight commotion happening. As you're walking down through the lengthy hallways, you do see some passes for like local law enforcement in this godforsaken place. You just come rushing through the hallways in the opposite way that you go in. And yeah, once again, if you're not stopping or doing anything, getting sidetracked by anything else, just as the journey over there went, there's a couple of places where the artificial gravity stops working or inverts for no random reason or no real reason, and you start walking along the ceiling or the walls instead of the floor, or just swimming through the air for a bit. It's kind of artful in a way when you see the crew casually swimming through the air. But other than that, it's uneventful.
Dude, I got the Michael Phelps arms. When we return to the ship, I want to vox the Lord Trader to after she's done with Cornelius and delivering her custom order item. I want to meet her in the board, like the I can't. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but like the officer boardroom, the briefing room. Meet her in the briefing room for some discussion of potential what's a good term, potential entertainment and profitable ventures.
Yeah, so do you Vox are making a request for this, or do you go find her somewhere?
Vox are making a request because I'm not going to search a 20,000 cruise ship for her.
I mean, good with your tracking skill. But yeah, you make the request, and she seems delighted by this. And after Cornelius, as you're handing over the package to her, she mentioned that you should, assemble in the one of the briefing rooms as well. And the rest of you aren't present. Rather, you get a box from some adjutant, requesting your presence there as well.
All right. Yeah, I show up in as soon as I'm voxed to here.
I've got no problem showing up.
All right. Yeah, I think you were also asked to make yourself presentable, dress uniform and the whole kit, whole 9 yards.
I'm gonna go
Will do
change.
so.
I mean, I'll go wipe the blood off, but I have leathers and a hollow suit, so chances are it's better to stay in the hollow suit.
I mean, I think you all have some ceremonial robes or something like you were given when you took command or you took your command post.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll go wash the last of the gore off because messy beak is never a fun beak. So yeah.
And you have at least one of the servants or adjutants, coming in with a box of polish, and polish your beak, so it's shining. You can mirror shine to it. Just reflects the light just right. When you look in strike a fancy pose, it glints off your beak,
Brush my hair, brush my head spikes back, whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's one fancy crude right there. Okay, you all assemble in the officers' quarter briefing room, and you see both the lady captain sitting there on her super fancy chair, and the astropath Kronk is there as well, standing to by the side of one room with the cup of recaf in his hand, and he's still wearing the full enclosed power armor. So now he's gonna drink that recaf. No one really knows what.
He got to wear his armor, but I had to change.
I mean, you can have a dress uniform above your armor, and you also see that the power armor is like mirror shine, well, which is really not something you want to go into combat with, but it looks fancy at least.
Not like you did anything last time we were in combat.
I mean, say that. Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm just gonna grab a glass of water.
I wouldn't get on the bad side of the astropath. They're needed. Eat a dick, go back to your engineering.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, I'm higher rank here. Go back to your engineering.
Nope. The commander wanted me here, so fuck you.
Fuck you, I called the meeting.
On behalf.
No, she called me.
I called the meeting.
Oh, did you? Fuck you, then I'm out.
I made the meeting, and she called you here to be in the meeting. Eat a dick.
And she called me here, so fuck you. I don't have to listen to you.
Yes, on my request.
When she is present, she is the leader. You can only be leader when she's not here. So go fuck yourself.
I'm going to eat every one of your helpers, so you never have time to do anything else.
I don't know how she like that.
We can get. I mean, if you have.
You just have to know we have murder servitors on board, so I can murderize your
I'll
ass.
eat those too. Oh, I think you misunderstand how useful murder servitors are. They sound a lot cooler than they are.
Well, they're called murder servitors. They will murder you.
No, if I kill them first.
We have many thousands of them.
I have a lot of time on my hands, as you know.
Awesome murder servitors, you have a handful at best.
You know what? Stop ruining my fun. Go drink your water.
If you have,
I actually cannot do anything other than that because, well, it's just.
If you have mechadendrites and multiple appendages, you'll be fine without any help in the engineering.
I mean, I do have 4 arms, so I don't need your help.
I don't want. Tell that
will
to the
make
people
your ass up. When we're in trouble, I will get you down here to work the goddamn engineering.
I'm not going to do
you don't
that.
do anything else.
No, my job is to stand on the bridge and stand and get uncomfortably close to people when they miss their shot, and it makes them do better because no one likes the crew within reaching distance.
I'll talk to the lady commander and get your ass down there to work.
Right. I really want to know how she'll react to being called the lady commander.
I don't know. What do I call it? I still call it the Lord Commander?
I mean, we can all figure that out in play rather than sit here and wax poetic.
Oh, we're just waiting for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, well, I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking.
I mean, I thought you were still drinking your water, sipping. Who knows?
Fuck, man. It doesn't take me like 2 minutes to drink some water.
But yeah, if everyone's here in the briefing, I want to address Lord Trader, our Lord Trader Thane, and present her the flyer. Present her the flyer, the one with all the information on it. And ask her about the dynasty listed, the Petronius dynasty.
Right, so you present it to her, and then What exactly do you ask about the dynasty?
I asked if she knows of them. Oh shit, the connection was interrupted. I asked if she knows of them, and if so, if she like what she knows of them and their dealings with this this arena, the arena games.
A fair bit, apparently. Yeah, it says that, well, far as I can tell, it's a smaller dynasty, but they focus exclusively on breeding and training pit fighting animals. And in the for these games you mentioned, they are one of the top contenders each year. And as far as the history of the games, they have always been in the finals, or even won a couple of times. So they are very good at what they do, but they don't do all that much.
It had come to me that there's probably not only prizes but prestige from winning these games, and potentially supplying rare and valuable beast to use and to breed. And that's potentially something we could do if we come in contact with this dynasty.
So what is that you're saying, first officer? Do you want to get into the beast trade, or what are you suggesting?
I think running around looking for some rare and sharp-toothed beasties that they don't already have, or that they are short on or otherwise need for breeding and competition purposes could be profitable, more so than winning the prize money. However, if anyone wants to enter, I won't be opposed, because fighting beasties.
I think this could be an interesting thing to invest in.
Nothing else, it'll be fun to watch.
I do like hunting beasts. Humankind more so, but
Speak for yourself, man.
I did say I do like, not we do like.
Yeah, but I like it more. I'm gonna compete with you about this, goddammit.
Stop competing for everything, god damn. You're competing, little chicken.
So as you're talking, explaining your idea, she leans back in a chair, swirling her glass of Amasac in her hand, takes a sip of it, and she says, "I like it. Those stuck-up brats have been winning far too much. We should get on this as well. I like your thinking, Groot. That's why I made you the first officer."
Thank you, Lord Trader. If you wish, I know of some of my kinsmen who could potentially join us on this endeavor. I will put word out and see if I can find any of them.
Excellent idea. So then, it seems that we're going into the beast trade. How exciting. Anyone else have suggestions for how we can make some profit in this God Emperor forsaken wasteland?
We just keep our eyes out for opportunities to make a profit. There's all sorts of ways to do that. Who knows what we'll find?
We'll probably have to do a lot of traveling when we gather all of these beasts, and we're bound to run along some sort of opportunity to make a profit along the way.
The Kronos Expanse does have a lot of planets that have not been discovered. We could find some interesting critters there.
How big of a beast can our ship hold?
I I think fairly big. We have a 2 kilometer long ship, so I mean, not a Kraken, but big
What about a
enough.
baby one?
I don't think we can hold a baby Kraken either.
I mean, we are traveling through space, so just give it a void suit and then drag it behind the ship.
Yes, we'll get a giant long void suit for the baby Kraken.
Like a really, it's like like those little bubbles they put people in who are.
Can't
who
we
are
just borrow
quarantined?
his?
Well, hey now.
So you're saying if we throw you out with a void suit and then we warp, you'll be fine, right? I would love to test that.
We could also test it with you. I would say we could, but I mean, obviously, someone already fucked you up, so
Yeah, I was already dragged.
we would probably have trouble getting you out the airlock. You fat fuck.
Nope, I can walk out. You just phase my ass out.
Now, if we consecrate the airlock,
Why do you want to consecrate an airlock?
specifically so you can't phase.
Ah. Okay.
Anyway, if that concludes the meeting,
Yeah, as you're having this discussion back and forth, or more accurate argument back and forth, the road trader just, sitting there with her glass of Amasack and just eyes half glazed over at this point, just not paying attention to any of you. And lost in thought about the glory and the guilt we had in the expat. And she says, when he doesn't hear the noise, the background noise anymore, he snaps back into reality again and says, well, that was certainly a eventful meeting. I do like this high spirits, but we have profits to make and people to see, so stop arguing and get on with it. Oh, and before you all go, we have one more matter to attend to. And then she gestures with her free hand, and one of the adjutants walk up with the same box still wrapped that you all went to fetch at the trade emporium. And she puts her glass down on the side table and says, "First officer, you will, if you please, stand up and come over here."
yes, Lord Trader, and I take the whole 2 strides that it takes me to get over to the end of the table because I'm a lanky ass freak.
Yeah, so it doesn't sit really. So how I imagine this room is that you have the long conference table kind of thing. So at one end, you have the viewport to outer space, and then it's I don't know, 8 seats, 8 comfortable seats on each side, and at the other end of the table there's a small gap or a bit of a distance, maybe half a meter or so, where the rogue trader sits on a even fancier high back chair, on a small dais. So she sits above all others. You approach her, and she stands up, and the adjutant unwraps the box, and all the rest of you you can sit or stand. It's entirely up to you, because all of you see this, and So let me ask you this, other characters have. What skin color or coloring do you have on the crew?
My crude is I actually wrote this down. Hold on. A greenish gray, so kind of like a pale green color.
All right.
Like I can't think of a good example. Like a very pale green, like something you would use in camo.
I have the general idea at least, right? And your armor and accoutrement and weapons and such, are they the same-ish color or do they have a different color?
The crude rifle is mostly brown just because it has like bits of leather and bullshit hanging off of it. And my hollow suit, on the other hand, is effectively a color like a. Now I'm not wearing it, but it's effectively like a full body suit that has all these like little bits of just decorative color because it's made for Eldar Harlequin, so it's all colorful and shit, and and the only thing that keeps you from really making out distinct patterns of the colors is the distortion around me as I wear it. Whereas the Crute leathers are kind of a dark brown, with like tints of green here and there.
All right. Yeah, you approach, and as you come to attention before he reaches, she says to you, "Well, because you have served my dynasty so well, past, and for this good deed bringing this potential profit, I think a reward is in order, don't you?" And she says this with a big smile on her face.
If you believe it right, so Lord Trader, then I will not disagree.
That is most healthy of decision of yours. Like it. We need more of that spirit around these parts, I think. All too often people tell me no when I have an idea. Especially the good ones. And she is still smiling. Like you can see the glint of mischief in her eyes. She's having a good time with it. And she says, as much to you, Hans, as to the rest of the assembled officers here. So, as a reward for the good deeds, I think it's only fitting that you have these. And the adjutant's holding the box that you picked up from the trade emporium, steps closer, and she reaches, she opens the lid, and because of your height, you can see into it before she picks any of the objects up. But the first thing she picks up is a top hat. You can't really see the markings on it, but it's pretty much a top hat fit for a Crute. And she places it gently on your head. And I think, while you may not see this immediately, the on the front of it, so where you would have it like facing out, from your face outwards, kind of thing, like the front bit of it, it has like, the actually let me write it down. Roll 20.
I just realized I forgot to add it, but I also am now on my so I decided how much that golden necklace I looted in the first session. I'm basically just going to put beads made of knuckle bone on it. So right now I have a squirrel thing knuckle bone, a tiger snake knuckle bone, and a homeless child knuckle bone.
Excellent collection.
So I was like kind of consolidating my gear, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, so that's what it says on the front of the top hat. And then, yeah, it's like a normal top hat, it's a fancy dark, like dark purple top hat with a black velvet, my God, what is it called? The band around the bottom of it.
I'm a big
And then,
fan of
that
legal.
there is a pin or a text, around the black velvet where it says like number 1 officer. And and you just stand there at attention, as you put it on, and then she reaches into the box again and pulls out this bright pink colored necklace with bells on it, and attach that to around your throat. So you basically have right now a white collar necklace with bells on it, like you would put on a cat, for example. And she says to you, while you are serving as the first officer aboard my ship, you will wear this necklace so that I will always know where you are. What you do in your free time, what you do off the ship, doesn't matter. But as long as you're here on my ship, you wear this.
Yes, Lord Trader.
Like a giant cat.
Wonderful. And she smiles like a gleeful smile, and you see the glint of mischief in her eyes, like intensify. And yeah, you now have a top hat with #1 officer written on it, and a
And a
bright pink collar with
collar.
bells.
Y'all think like you don't understand how deep recruit loyalty goes. Like for whatever reason it be that I serve like the dynasty, then I do what I'm told. God damn it, that's why I'm the first officer and you're not.
I just didn't want to be first officer.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work, to be honest.
Gotta
It's
run
not
the belt
worthy.
around my neck.
I was a colonel last time. I don't want that responsibility.
Just you wait until I get my
You got so
shapers.
many men killed.
All my shapers wear bowler hats, like the hat that Hellforge's profile has.
Yeah, every time you take a step or really move, you make a jingle noise from one of the bells on the collar. And yeah, with that, she gleefully dismisses all of you to go back to your duties and start planning for the upcoming Beast campaign.
Sounds like fun. Now we'll know if he's ever behind us. He can't sneak anymore.
Yeah, only while I'm on the ship.
Yeah, as all of you are leaving the room, you see the last thing you see is the astropath and the road traders sitting down and having a conversation.
But keep in mind that what this is going to basically look like is while walking around the ship, there's going to be a Kroot in effectively a gimp outfit, just like with his eyes and beak coming out, with a cat bell around his neck and a top hat. So, and that's going to be what's commanding the ship. Also, if I'm wearing the hollow suit, you're just going to see like a shimmering blob of color with the gimp Kroot in the middle, the top hat and the bells.
This is the most progressive ship in the Imperium.
I really need a picture of this.
Don't kink shame me.
Alright. So, we're looking for animals, right? Beasts, as you may say. Do we want to head to maybe a death world or, somewhere? Maybe gather some information on where we can find a few?
Yeah. Before we even leave, would it be possible for me to ask around and see if there is somebody who has knowledge of beasts, like basically someone who possesses like sort of the scholastic lore for beasts? I think like
can
a
we go to
professor.
the Beastmasters Guild? Since they're hosting it, can we ask around there? I hope they're helpful.
We might be able to, but it might also be hard to hire them because we'd be competing with other people who are hiring them.
That's just like waving out our fucking flag, like, "Hey guys, we're joining the game." Like what?
Oh no,
fuck?
I mean, so the
Fucking giving away.
Beastmasters
No,
Guild.
eat a dick. I'm talking.
Shut up! Listen, the Beastmasters Guild is a guild that hosts this thing, so they want more people to attend it. Why would they not help us out?
Well, it's not.
They're not competing in it; they're hosting it.
Yes, but
the dynasty's competing.
Fucking loose lips, Erden.
Well, it's not
and the
that
dynasty isn't competing. It says sponsored.
It's not that there wouldn't be people there who would want to help us. It would be that for every person with scholastic lore Xenos or forbidden lore Xenos, there would be 8 other rogue traders or other random nobles and people that would be opting to try and hire the same type of person there. So I was just asking, since we're already in Footfall, a decent sized port, if I could basically ask around to see if there's anybody who is knowledgeable of such things who we could keep along as a consultant.
I mean, I don't think Hellforge will let me, but at some point I would like to try and acquisition this Kroot. I don't know if I can do it now, though.
And there's not... So, first of all, Let's do this in order to keep it a bit more semblance. First of all, Cornelius, absolutely spot on idea right there. Because if you left port without, talking to people about this, you would basically be flying blind to wherever you wanted without really knowing what the hell's going on. So if you want, you can do an inquiry test. I'd say +0. Actually, I'd say because of the hype for the games, and there is a lot of people flocking to the place to take part in this. I give you a +10 to hear rumors about, whether you talk to people, like actively engage them, or just eavesdropping. Give you a +10 to inquiry to see if you can pick out any rumors.
I'll
Feels bad,
fate
man.
point that.
Feels good, man.
Can we all go around asking, or is it just him?
I mean, if all of you want to go around asking, you can do that. But Cornelius
Okay, we don't
was the
have
one
to.
Who pointed it out?
As a seneschal, you could have. Yeah, never mind.
Oh
Special
yeah,
ability
I forgot
could've-
that I can auto succeed those, but yeah, either way. 4 or technically 5 degrees of success is pretty good. So
Yeah, absolutely. You usually only need 3 to get the most optimal result, but that's even better.
That's even more optimal.
Yeah, you find you overhear people mention some names, and you also speak to some people who mention some names, and yeah. So you want to just talk to people, to these individuals, to get some idea, or did you want to actively hire them as consultant to bring with you?
all right, so yeah, you can tell me if there's anything I need to do to alter this to fit the game. But what I'm imagining Cornelius is doing is talking in these different circles of people, asking around, and then if he finds a group of people who seem knowledgeable about this topic, then I would start off by basically chatting about what would be a good planet to go to start to hunt beast, and then if I acquired that information, my second goal would be to offer a position on the ship where you could work full-time as a consultant, basically, so that once we have the beast, we would know how to treat it. And so that's my goal.
All right. So I
A caretaker.
think you get several answers to that, because it's a bit of a couple of broad questions there. But yeah, they basically tell you that there is a couple of people who specialize in different animals. So if you want, like, herbivores, herd animals, that kind of thing, basically cattle, there's a couple of people you can talk to, and they can be used in the tournament as well. As you can enter more than one in some branches of the competition. For example, you can have herd animals against herd animals, and you see which one stampedes the best. That kind of thing. And yeah, there is, if you want the various different types of carnivores, for example, like they all have a specialist, a couple of specialist trainer on the station or coming into the station. So
Okay, I'll seek after a specialist trainer for carnivores then.
right, sorry, I'm just taking notes here so I know for what's going on. But yeah, it takes you maybe an hour or so, because there's a lot of people just flooding the rumor mills. But you eventually find the location after asking around to one of the trainers, who doesn't seem to be occupied with anything, and he's it's an older man, probably like mid 60s maybe. Yeah, heavily scarred, like he has been bitten, clawed, and all manners of uncomfortable things, throughout his life, but still standing alone, instead of some of the others who get eaten, for example. Okay, you find him at a bar. I think like somewhere in the middle, like in the inner circle of footfall, where the fancier stuff is. Everything is a bit more expensive, but marginally better quality. Twice the price, marginally better quality stuff. So, do you bring anyone with you when you go talk to this Beastmaster, or do you just wanna go fly solo on this one?
I hold on. Let me think. And is he expecting me?
No, like you just inquire about someone, and the people you talk to, the several people you talk to, all says that Sarge, which is his nickname, I suppose, is the person to talk to if you want to have like the specialist knowledge about some of the most fierce carnivores in this side of Terra.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably meet with him on my own then.
You sure you don't want to bring Maine?
I
In
thought
case he
about.
wants to.
Yeah. Man, you're
I
just
don't
a
know.
normal arch militant, I think.
I think the proper term here is you're just a normal fucking person. Like, none of this mutant bullshit or Xeno bullshit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Maine.
I mean, I have
or
survival,
Glenn.
but
When's
survival
Renegade
doesn't really.
Psyker? If there's another Psyker around, then there's going to be some headbutting, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess I still think I'll probably yeah, I guess I'll take Maine. I mean, he's honestly the one least likely to raise negative attention towards us for the moment.
Yeah, I'll tag along.
All right, so yeah, we meet on the docks, and then I head to the area to meet up with this Beastmaster.
Yeah, you know the location where he's currently renting a room at the Gelt Pile. So speak to it. And yeah, like I said, it's in the inner area of footfall, so it takes a bit of time to get there. So while you were walking over there, Hans, you said you had something you wanted to do.
Because I think it would count as a special acquisition because it's not a normal thing. But to get my Kroot boys ready for the hunt. But first, I need to find some Kroot boys, which means that I would have to use an acquisition to get them.
Yeah, so if you want to see if you can find some Kroot boys over here on Footfall right now, first of all, it would be what would it be? It would be an inquiry to ask around, see if you can find them, if there's anyone here to begin with.
Is Cornelius still around to inquire for me?
No, he ran off at the first drop of a hat. He heard your jingly bells coming along the hallway, just grab his stuff and ran.
So if I spend a fate point, that adds +10, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
doesn't mean there are any there.
Eat a dick. I'm getting headhunters. Fuck you. You're mad because I have an army and you don't.
What?
I don't know, man.
So you take a moment to ask around, and most people are freaked out by the fact that there is a birdman talking to them in a hollow suit. Okay, you eventually come across. You either talk to some people, or you overhear that there is a group of Kroot members, or a group of
Headhunters.
Filthy Xenos that matches the description of the Crute on the lower levels of Footfall, somewhere in the lower levels. And they seem to be causing some issues for the local population. Or rather on the outer reaches. I don't think there's a lot of like vertical levels on this place.
All right. I wanna head out there, and in my traditional Crute leathers, on over my hollow suit because reasons.
Convenient plot reasons to dress inappropriately.
I mean, they may be Crute, but I ain't gonna show up to some Crute wearing, not wearing my hollow suit. Shit might get dicey.
That is very true. Do you bring people with you, or do you go alone?
At the risk of having my crewmen eaten, I'm gonna go alone.
All right. Yeah, it takes you about. It's a bit hard to navigate at times because some of the tiny signposts and such doesn't really make sense, and it's also you have to rely on rumors from very unhelpful people at times, especially the very outskirts of it. And to just add insult to additional injury, the gravity doesn't really work as well, or at all in most cases out here in the very fringes of Footfall. So that you spend a lot of time walking in ceilings or swimming through the air. So while the Crutes and the Seneschal and Archmilitant is away, what are the rest of you doing?
Can we make our own inquiries to see if we come up with any ideas of where to go?
Yeah, sure. You can roll inquiry if you wish to just ask around or overhear rumors or eavesdrop on people.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck off to the bar since everybody just kind of bailed
Yeah.
the ship.
Can machines get drunk though?
I
God,
don't have to
just
get
wasting
drunk. I can
money.
just enjoy my goddamn Amasac. Shit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take some time in a bar.
Yeah, welcome. Join me.
Apparently, I'm a little more interested in.
The more
drinking.
interest, the more interest in the bottom of the bottle.
Sounds about right.
What does carouse do?
You roll it when you get.
Basically, lets you resist the intoxication.
There you go. You can not get drunk.
If you
But
succeed
who
on the
needs
roll,
it?
of course.
Who needs to carouse when you can get drunk and have
But
fun?
yeah, I think so. You were asking about finding.
Oh shit!
First drink, she's out. First drink, she's out.
Somebody slipped me a
Goddamn, I have to carry her back now.
So I think the
Your,
first drink you
your small
order.
stature.
So I think the first drink you order, maybe you drink it a bit too fast, and you get halfway through it before you just pass out on the bar desk.
That's why I didn't find get any leads.
It's okay. I'm drinking with you. I'm getting drunk. I'm getting there.
You were interested
Not a
in
negative 8 there.
the bottom of that bottle in the next 5.
How did I get a negative?
Fucking
You
perfect.
got 100. You rolled 100. I just look at her. I see her pass out on the counter, and I just take a sip of my drink and contemplate that I have to probably carry her back.
So I think did the both of you mention that you were gonna just go out drinking to a bar or something, or did you just?
Yeah. Well, last time we were
Yeah.
bored, she said she'll join me.
Yeah, I figured that was one place to go and just try to make connections.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then, and I will allow this like retcon if you wish. Did you bring some guardsmen with you or armsmen with you, or did you just go alone?
Oh no, I went alone. I don't know if she was with armsmen.
Hmm.
And when I say
Oh.
armsmen, I do mean like basically ship crew. They can be visibly armed and armored. Or
I
they
did
can just
I did call our psyker with us to see if he wants to take a drink. I don't know what he said. I believe he came with us. He was feeling lonely with his power armor.
So yeah, if you want to have some additional backup, they can be
Yeah.
in armor, with weapon, or they can be like, civilian dressed. The crew
Yeah,
coming with you.
I think some of the crew at least would come with.
yeah. And definitely our psyker, because he needs to wind down a little.
Right, so you have a couple of ship crew with you, and there might be some additional ship crew in the bar as well, though they didn't specifically come with you, they were just hanging out when you showed up. And for the navigator, he's hanging out in his little cubbyhole, contemplating the warp and all the good stuff with that. The astropath is busy with something else on the ship.
Oh, he didn't join us?
No, he has other things to do. He has better things to do than get drunk all day.
Yes, life.
So he has to polish the power armor.
The shininess doesn't
This
come
is
by itself.
40k. That is a life.
That is true. So yeah, when you pass out at half the first drink, which is unfortunate, but you pass out with the knowledge that you have at least 5 or 6 other guardsmen that's gonna be carrying you back and keeping you safe.
Having a good time while I'm off doing work.
What work? You're trying to get yourself an army.
To go find beasts, because crew are some of the best beastie boys around.
Remember, we got Sarge. We might get Sarge soon.
We're supposed to be finding them for trade, not for food.
What, the crew? No, these are my boys. These are the
beasts. We're trying to find beasts for a tournament, not for food.
One for me, one for them.
We'll also need to feed them.
We can feed them the crew. You're right. We can feed them some chicken.
I'm gonna feed them you.
Alright, so before this derails any further, Cornelius and Maine, you arrive safe and sound, and probably a scraped knee or elbow or some such, as the gravity was playing havoc again for no goddamn reason. And yeah, you arrive at the Gelt pile, and there is a bit of an ostentatious sign outside. It's a big Scrooge McDuck style pile of thrown Gelts, and there is someone tastefully, a sign on the sign. There's a man, a muscle-bound like man, relatively handsome, even though the sign is a bit worn, and getting ready to dive into the pile of thrown Gelt. And it just says the Gelt pile in big golden letters.
Taking another sip.
You don't pass out from alcohol poisoning.
I don't know why I had to roll corrals for a sip. That's like
not a sip, a drink.
I don't know how I. Never mind.
Shots of freaking Amasac. Many.
But yeah, the two of you find a place, and yeah, it seems like, because this is the quote-unquote upscale establishment in this area, you do see some people just lounging about in the streets, having a good time. And same as before, like there is some street performers doing their thing, street carts selling some food and gifts and whatnot. The usual stuff you'd find in a city.
All right, so I look over to Maine and say, "Yeah, I believe this is the place." So yeah, we make our way into the Gelt pile. And I forget. Do I know the name of the beast master that we were looking for?
Yeah, you from the rumors you heard, or from the people you spoke to, they called him Sarge.
Oh yeah, that's right, Sarge. Okay. So this place has a bartender or something on staff or available.
Yeah, so point of order first of all, you don't actually have to roll carouse for just having a single drink.
No. I was having
I
myself
know
some.
I'm just pointing this out for future
Oh,
reference. Is if you decide to go like super ham on it, but because of that critical
okay.
failure with that carousal,
That
love reasons.
It's just for the fun of it.
it is funny. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, but
I was having the high quality brandy. I forgot what it's called.
But for future reference, you don't have to roll it for just once. It's if you spend a hard night drinking, for example, that's when you need to
Okay.
roll.
Oh, you don't know what I'm doing. All right.
Yeah, there, when you come in, like there is a quite a peaceful establishment. There's dimly lit, candle lights all over the place, and a couple of lumen globes in discreet areas so you don't stumble on something on the floor. But for the most part, each table has some candles. The chandeliers and the wall sconces has some candles as well. And yeah, the like very much dark wood interior kind of thing with dark gray plaster, and there's a lot of tapestries here. Like someone who once designed this place was super into tapestries, especially for like with hunting motifs for some reason. And just beautiful, like ornate tapestries with hunting motifs and starships crossing starship battles, all that. It's a very ostentatious place, really. And yeah, there's a bunch of tables. There seems to be a bit more full than usual, a bit more crowd than usual. But you see at the far end of the room, there's a bar counter, two bartenders, and a couple of open seats, a couple of patrons sitting by the bar, just having a drink and chatting with each other.
All right. And also I'm writing stuff down in my notes. What was the name of the contest that we were looking to enter?
I wrote it down in Roll20 for it.
All right. Yeah, I have that in my notes. So we walk in and I take in the scene, and I approach the anyone who looks to be knowledgeable in the establishment. Maybe I order a small drink, and then is there a bartender or a manager nearby?
And like I said, there's two bartenders. One is busy like attending to some of the patrons sitting at the bar, but the other one seems to be just standing there, eternally polishing a tankard or something.
Ah, okay. Yeah, now I remember. So I go over to.
In front of him, yeah, just a quick note. In front of him, there's like 3 seats, empty, so you can sit if you want.
Yeah, so I walk over and sit in one of the seats, and I order a drink, and then I ask, so I'm here to looking for a knowledgeable individual by the name of Serge. Do you happen to know where I might find him?
Yeah, as he pours you the drink. I mean, do you sit down and order as well, or do you stand?
I stand.
Right. You order something, or you just stand there.
No, I don't order anything.
Right. Yeah, he gives you a quick look as he pours the drink before looking back at you, Cornelius. And he says, and he chuckles and says, well, he seems to be a popular person. That one these days. Everyone's want to talk to him. I think he's over there in the corner somewhere, and he like nods to one of the side corners. So he doesn't seem to be in a good mood. So if you wanna cheer him up, we have some. I have something here. He keeps ordering. Maybe that could help get him on a friendly term.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Go ahead and send him one order of that on my behalf.
Yeah. So he pulls out a bottle, and you see it's unopened. So, and he pours a drink, and one of the waiters comes by, picks it up, and walks over to, and you see where the waiter goes, and it's one of the like far back corners in a booth, and it seems to be a bit more shady in that area. But yeah, you see a quite tall figure sitting there at the opposite end from where the bar is.
All right, so I will. Yeah, he's the only one sitting in the booth.
Yeah, right now he's the only one sitting there. There's a couple of patrons like nearby, but there's like each booth adjacent to where he sits is empty, and then there is like 4 or 5 one sitting in one booth, that is occupied, and 2 or 3 like to the other. So they're giving him a wide berth.
Right, so I'll finish my drink and then I will walk over to towards his booth and introduce myself by saying, "Yeah, so I hear you're a knowledgeable man to talk to about wild beasts in the expanse."
And he looks up from his new drink, gives you a very like piercing gaze, just looking at you up and down, see what kind of person you are and how easy it would be to snap the neck off. And he gives the same look to Maine if you follow over.
Yeah, I followed him over.
So, quick question: are both of you armed and armored, or did you go in civilian clothing?
Unless otherwise stated for special reasons, I'm always in my armor.
I have Xeno mesh, which doesn't cover my head, and I have a robe over it. He might be able to tell that I'm wearing it, but my armor is very thin and not easy to notice for most people.
Do you carry any weapons?
Yeah, my usual.
Yeah, I have a pistol. I'm not carrying my bolt gun.
All right, so he looks you up and down first, and he sees you pretty much just wearing a robe and a tiny pistol. Just dismisses you as a threat. And were you wearing the chain fist with your armor?
Yeah.
Right. He looks like his eyes linger on the chain fist, and he gives you a nod, like a respectful nod, and that you can interpret as he acknowledges you as a big threat. And yeah, you can pretty much assume that if shit goes down, you're the first one who gets a bullet to the back of the face. Because you're not trick shots.
He can try.
Dude, he's gonna bounce the bullet off of his goddamn ego and hit you in the back of the head.
Back of the face. Slight difference. But yeah, he gives you both a nod, and says, "Yes, I can spare you a moment since you bought me a drink. And yeah, I know a thing or two. What do you want to know?"
We come from we're representatives of the Thane dynasty of and we are looking to enter the Carnage Carnival. the monthly event in Footfall. And I have been asking around, and many people have been saying good things about you, saying that you're the one to go to when it comes to wild beasts and carnivores.
I spent my whole life fighting them, chasing them, and at times even training them. I prefer to just hunt them. Make a interesting challenge from people. People are so goddamn predictable these days. Always doing the worst kind of things possible, but at least you never know.
Yeah, I would like to make you an offer. we we're looking to make a lot of gelt from our future excursions into the expanse, and if you would come on as a consultant when we acquire these beasts, I can assure you you would live a comfortable life.
And what exactly is your role in this dynasty of yours?
I'm the High Factotum. I work as a seneschal for the Thane dynasty.
All right. You deal with the bookkeeping then. And he looks over at Maine and he says, "What are you doing?"
Security.
Well, at least someone is dressing appropriately for this area. So let's say I accept this generous offer of yours. What exactly does that entail for me? What do you want me to do exactly?
Well, we will be traveling to various planets to identify choice specimens, which we may choose to bring aboard our ship. And we wish to have your expertise on our side for capturing the beast, uh, training the beast, containing the beast, and keeping it alive so that we may transport it back to Footfall. We will be offering the majority of the muscle ourselves. Your role, we hope, will be to point us in the right direction so that we won't be wasting our time by not having your knowledge.
He scratches his chin, takes a sip of the drink again, but he says, "I can do 3 out of 4 things you want me to do. For the last one, you would have to find someone else, but I know a couple of people. So yeah, you have my interest. That's I've been approached by far too many people with ill-conceived notion of what this actually entails. So if you can offer me a better price, like you have a sound plan, I suppose, but you have the money. Let's talk terms. Then I know what I'm worth. I know what my friends are worth. And if you can offer us a decent price, then we can try it out, see what happens. And if you turn out to be a fool, I'm just gonna leave you at the best moment and take my things and leave. Because then you clearly don't deserve it."
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable proposal. I would do the same in your position.
I'm glad we agree. All right, so what I would like you to do now, Cornelius, is to roll me a barter as we are discussing the terms. Like, so the next few minutes gonna basically you can narratively hand wave it with you know, sit down, have a drink, order some more rounds, and you discuss the terms of the contract. See if you can, you know, bring him and some of his associates on board in this endeavor. So I would like you to roll me a barter, please, to hire your services.
All right, I'll be spending a fate point to give me a +10 on this.
Actually,
Whoa! Look at your special ability. If I think barter is one of the things you can auto succeed. I think.
Yeah, let me read that. Commerce, inquiry, or evaluate.
Ooh.
Bad.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and spend a fate point to give myself a +10 on the barter.
all right.
Feels good, man.
All right. So his basic stat for barter is 30 because that's the baseline of everything, and it has one check mark. So he uses full 30. So that's 1 degree of failure on his part. You win by, I believe, 5 degrees of success.
I believe so.
Yeah, he got.
Sorry.
They're not.
But the fact that you won. So yeah, you bounce back and forth a bit with the finer points of the contract, and I think the deal you basically strike is that he will bring aboard some of his associates to help the training, help the capturing, tracking, everything you need to get this endeavor up and running. Capturing, transporting, everything like that. All the training. So he will bring that with him. But one of the clauses in the contract is that if things start looking dicey, him and his crew will have free reign to decide if something is too difficult or too lethal to actually capture and bring back alive. So if they say this animal we are not gonna take or even attempt to take because we don't think we can succeed, you allow them to basically walk away from it if the rest of you still want to keep pushing on with it and say, yeah, we gotta take this. So that your own overconfidence doesn't become their downfall. That's pretty much the only clause he was hell bent on not changing in the contract. Otherwise, he agrees to your terms.
All right, cool. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So after you finish fencing the contract, he says, well then, I guess we're doing business together. And he extends his hand out and says, I'm Sarge. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Cornelius Lysander, likewise. And I shake.
Yeah, shakes his hand, shakes your hand rather. Yeah, he says, it will take me a couple of days to assemble my team and then we should be ready. And I will draw you a list of items we will need for some of this stuff. And I also need to talk to your navigator at some point to figure out where some of the planets are.
Yep, all of that can be arranged.
Excellent. Where is your ship parked?
We will be on, and then I say the dock number. It will be the 2.0 ship.
Excellent. I'll see you there in a few days. Ready.
I believe it's a shriek-sized raider ship. Sorry, the Shriek Raider ship.
Yep, so me and Maine, we take our leave and make our way back to the docks. Get on the ship.
Excellent. You have successfully acquired a hunting team.
Oh, good.
Now let's get the real hunting team. These crews are actually like the crew that I'm looking at the stats for the crew mercenaries. These dudes are considerably better skilled than I am right now. Feels bad. Like they're what would I would they have the stuff that I would get at rank 2, so they're effectively rank 2 crew.
I mean, All you know is there are some Kroot on this planet. You don't know
Fuck you, I'm getting crew. Eat a dick, Erden.
There could be some, travelers just, lost out in space,
I don't know how crew
sick
works.
and dying. Can I start packing up and call over an officer to just, drag Gwen back to the ship? Since someone decided to just have too much fun tonight.
Yeah, a couple of when they think it's start time, when it's time to start leaving, they pack up Gwen in a nice package and just carry it back.
She is tiny, as she said herself. Put her in a suitcase.
Hey.
It's not like you'll realize you're knocked out. God damn it.
It's the principle. Right, so you have successfully convinced the hunting team to join forces. That's pretty sweet. All right, so we quickly smash cut over to the Kroot and his chase for Krootiness. All right, so you have a very unexact location of these supposed troublesome Kroots. So what's your game plan here? Are you just gonna go in guns blazing and tell them to get on with it, or how do you approach?
Well, I mean, if they're just kind of dicking around eating homeless kids and whatever happens to fall in the gutter, I mean, I feel like I could promise them a considerably better existence under me as their shaper and my kindred, that is.
So, yeah, as you're getting closer to the general area where you last heard where they were, can you give me an yes? Would it even be like hearing-based awareness or
Hell yeah.
inquiry, whichever you think? If you just want to walk around for a bit and listen to the crude noises, or if you want to ask around for people.
I'm looking for Kroot, doing it the Kroot way, because I ain't no bitch.
All right. Yeah, so you walk around for a bit in the shadows, and you start hearing like horrified screams from some direction, slightly ahead of you, and you also hear the squawking and the clicking of beaks. Yeah, there's yes, pigeon noises. But yeah, you seem to be Kroot nearby, and just walk over to them.
I wanna approach the direction and figure out where these Kroots are, and maybe sit down with lunch over some bystander with them.
All right. Yeah, you turn around, you turn the corner, and you see down the hallway, probably like 20 meters or so, you see there are 3 Kroots just seem to be, hunched over a still screaming person and just ripping him to shreds, and ripping arms away, and just pecking furiously with their beaks and just making a complete mess out of the place.
Where's the police in footfall?
I wanna walk over and then crouch down real low, like down on all fours, looking at him like in the face, kind of inspect him for a bit, make sure he doesn't have any parasites, and then go for the throat.
For the Kroot or for the person?
The person.
Could eat their food. That's messed up.
Listen, the Kroot hunt and eat as an honor, which means that this guy happened to be the prey and he didn't get away, which means that he is being eaten as an honor to release his warrior spirit. Fuck you, I'm helping release him. Kroot also eat, and eating is a very big thing in Kroot culture, all right?
Yes. As you approach the trio who's carving up this delicious meal, one of them turns at the sound of you. And yeah, you see there is most people probably wouldn't catch this because they don't either know or care about Kroot, but you can see there is a very feral, instinctual look in his in their face. Like they don't seem to be all right in the, so to say.
Our recruit's not alright in the head.
I don't see what your problem is, man. I think that I'm a good recruit. I wanna stop and held them in Kroot speak.
Yeah, so as you make the appropriate pigeon noises in their general direction, they all like, stop what they're doing. They all stare at you, like turn to face you and stare at you, and they all have the same deranged look in their face. This is not the ecstasy of the hunt kind of thing that you have experienced yourself on several occasions, but this is something completely different.
I'm gonna ask what kindred are they with? They responded, all that is.
They don't seem to be on they make some noise, but you don't perceive that to be an actual linguistical thing. It's just noise that they make.
Can I recognize what type of recruit they are? Like, are they headhunters or some other recruit?
So I personally don't know really anything about recruits, so I can't tell you that.
Like, are they super bulked up? Are they like? Have they been?
This one seems to be more like malnourished, like thin, like super thin and malnourished. Like they don't seem to be have had a good time lately. And yeah, I don't know how well you have seen this before. Like how if you have experienced this before in firsthand or some sort. But yeah, these seems to be very much like feral crews. There is something just not right about them.
All right, there's only one way to eat a dick. There's only one way to bring a recruit back into the recruit. There's only one way to bring him back, right? So to get them to recognize me as their shaper, I will start hunting and eating them one by one until they rejoin until they join my kindred.
So 3 of them can eat.
All right.
So, by the way, how many recruit are there?
3 that you can see right now.
Well, would I be able to recognize which kindred they're from?
I mean, maybe. Again,
like, would I be able to tell if they're headhunters like I am, or if they're a different type of recruit?
What's the most normal type? Because like I said, I don't personally know anything about recruits, so you're putting me on the fence here.
So, if I had to guess, probably stalkers.
Yeah, just for the hell of it, let's say they're headhunters as well. Because I said, I don't know.
There goes the virus grenades. All right.
Yeah, these seems to be feral headhunters who have somehow snuck up on the station. So, do you want to fight now that you know this? Like, you can see this before you approach them, like, get any closer. You still want to fight them, or do you just want to back off and say, hey, not today?
So, let me think.
While you think, can you roll me a side-based awareness as well?
Yep. Oh shit!
Right. Yeah.
So
you see, yeah.
I was just saying that the plus 10 because of heightened seeing saved my ass there.
Yeah. So what you see laying around this area, you see at least 5 or 6 other like half-eaten corpses as well of humanoid creatures, but they all seem to be snacking on this particular.
All right, so this is just from my understanding as a player of Kroot and the way they like corrupt Kroot are dealt with. From my understanding, the best way to deal with corrupt Kroot is to effectively, because like corrupt Kroot are like super feral, is to make them not corrupt, which involves effectively establishing dominance as the shaper and feeding them good things, like not like mutants or other warpy shit, but like a proper diet. So yeah, I think I need to establish dominance. It's everyone that seems to be the leader of the pack, or they like.
There just seems to be 3 individual Kroots who happen to be eating the same thing and not murdering each other.
Well, if they can't show me where their shaper is, in that case, it means that I'm now their shaper. So
They're feral.
So are you gonna approach them and puff up your chest and say, "Hey, listen to me"?
yeah, I want to approach them.
All right. As you approach them, they seem to be hissing at you menacingly to make you back off, and you also see them. They have some sort of weapons on them, some sort of crude implements, like knife, some sort of melee weapons. You keep going as they're hissing at you, or you back off?
I want to pull out my mono knife. Actually, you know what? Instead of that, I want to hiss considerably louder back.
All right, roll intimidate. -10.
So because I have a natural strength 2, would I be -10? So would I have a modifier?
Strength modifies. It just makes double the success rather than adds anything to the roll.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the 3 of them just as you're hissing louder and you just puff up your chest, make yourself a lot bigger than you really are. And they seemed thoroughly intimidated by the whole thing.
I'll walk over and just kind of toss their food aside, like that. The person they were eating aside.
Yeah, they are so thoroughly intimidated. I think if it was possible for a crew to pass out from fear, they might actually just do that.
This is what happens when you have a nice wholehearty diet of homeless people.
And yeah, so you toss current snack aside.
I want to pull out like some proper some proper Kroot food, aka what's left of my snack from earlier, and give it to them. Treat them like wild animals, man. You gotta feed them. Gotta bring them inside.
Feed them the homeless kid.
Yeah, like I mean, the remnants of the homeless kid that I took with me for a road snack.
Yeah, but they're already eating a homeless person.
Yes,
I don't think that's any better food.
Yes, but the homeless person I ate was from like the inner bits, right? Like the inner bits. They're eating people who are like, because the only reason Kroot go feral like that is if they eat like mutants and none of their warpy shit, which means that they've been eating things that are not good. Okay. So I need to give them a taste of like proper people.
And so once they get over the initial terrifying, overwhelming fear of you, and you see, when they see you holding out some food to them, or just toss it on the ground to the beach, they like slowly, very tentatively grab it and start munching on it. They're still absolutely terrified of you, but they at least they're eating the food.
Can I say some stuff in Kroot and see if any of them seem to respond at all or what?
Yeah, you can try.
All right. I want to ask them if they belong to any kindred or if they understand me at all. Fuck, I'm fate pointing that. Or is it an opposed thing, or?
I mean, a fail is still a fail.
I'm fate pointing it. Damn it!
You just forgot to speak crude.
I know, right?
That's too long.
Yeah, they don't seem to be able to comprehend what you're talking about. Whether that's because you're not forming it in their tribal language, or
Yeah.
using their tribal tongue, or because they simply don't understand Kroot anymore. It's hard to tell.
In that case, I want to pull out my Shaper totem, my Kroot Hawk totem, and just point at it and see if they recognize something like it.
Yeah, they as you pull that out and point to it, they slowly start backing away from you and from the whole situation.
All right. In that case, is there any anything in the area that would suggest there are other Kroot about, or is it just these three?
I mean, from what you have seen so far,
What
seems to be just the three of them.
So there's no environmental anything that would suggest there's a lot more Kroot living here than just three.
I mean, you succeed on your awareness test, and as far as you can tell, with 1 degree of success, it doesn't seem to be anything other than these 3 feral Kroots, who is just making a mess of the place and scaring decent citizens away.
All right. I want to let me think. I need to feed these dudes and integrate them back into the kindred, which means I need to get them out of here and back to the ship and tied to a pole. These are now my pet Kroot.
They, for every moment you are not actively putting a leash on them, they are backing away further and further away from you. They are absolutely terrified of this situation.
In that case, I want to take the clothes of the various bodies around, at least what's left of the clothes, and then just jury rig some rope out of it, and tie them all together, and pull them along with me.
Jury rig? Can you even jury rig things?
Fuck you!
Goddamn
It's weaving rope.
All right, so 2 of them managed to resist. Just how terrified they are, so they stay in place and that you put the improvised collar or leash on them. The second one, however, just with a strange squeaking noise, just do a 180 turn and just bolts for the door, or the nearest door, and just runs away from you.
Damn. How did he book it, Kroot book it, or did he just run off? Would I build
full tilt, absolute, hands shitting terror, running away from the situation, kind of thing, double speed and everything.
Damn. All right, I'll just have 2 Kroot for the time being, and they'll be my left and right hands.
You mean 2 feral Kroot? They can't
Fuck
do
you!
anything.
I can be a shaper. I just need to get 8 more.
Okay, you have 2 feral Kroot on a leash right now.
All right, I want to start leading them out of here, and maybe doing a little bit of chomp on the way out on things that look like that they're on things that aren't horribly mutated by the powers that be, on proper people.
Yeah, I think you find a street vendor or something who is trying to push his food cart away from the gruesome massacre, and you just take a couple of quick steps, and you grab him by the scruff of the neck, and you can just give him the Emperor's mercy if you wish. Have him as a snack.
Now keep in mind that I probably put the man out of his his misery and just snap his neck with my beak. I want to make it damn sure that they know that I'm the one giving them food. So I cut off bits with my mono knife and hand it off to him.
Yeah, they see you like dissect it
Okay, I'll be back.
and you know, and pieces of them of him to them. So yeah, they're very aware that you are the one feeding right now.
All right. I just wanna keep this dude kind of slung over my shoulder, keeping them fed on the way back to the ship.
Yeah, so as you're walking that entire trip back to the ship, like you get some really weird looks from bystanders when they see this massive, lanky Xenos creature with a bulky street vendor in the course of a bulky street vendor on his shoulder, and just two feral crews on a leash, in front of him.
And not just any lanky Xeno, a lanky Xeno in a gimp suit.
Yeah, it's somehow even worse.
Sorry, that shit just. Oh my god.
I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee.
I need to find artists to draw that.
But yeah, you now have two feral crews.
All right. Also, I wanna keep one of the knuckles from the street vendor. So
write that down on your character sheet. And I think this excursion took you maybe
too long.
2-3 hours or so.
all right. When I get back to the ship, I just ignore all the other crew members who are irrelevant in the situation. I want to put the crew find myself a nice closet or something because I don't think we have a brig.
I mean, I think every void ship has a brig of some description. It's just not designated for as fancy as some of the brig components.
All right, I want to put them both in their own cage, and then just split up the rest of the vendor between the two of them, and then head to the rogue trader to explain explain the situation, so to speak.
All right. Yeah. So after you put the two feral crews in their cages, you put on the necklace again.
Yeah, necklace and the top hat.
No, you don't have to wear the top hat if you don't want to. It's the color.
It's a top hat.
That's true. You look very stylish. All right. So you explain the situation, and rogue trader doesn't seem to be too fussed about the whole situation unless you make a mess out of her place as well.
I mean, if anything, this will be a great intimidation factor until they're fully reintegrated into my kindred. I basically have two rampant crew ready to just go eat someone.
Yeah, I mean it's a terrifying prospect to have feral Xenos on board of any ship, because if they get loose, they can just start munching on the crew.
I mean, the way I see this is that because the crew aren't terribly warpy, that may not be a bad thing. Because it will,
I wouldn't mind killing them.
If you saw the stats for feral crew, you would feel differently.
I don't know, man. I still wouldn't mind killing them.
Good luck.
So, how long does Gwen and Conrad spend drinking before they get back to the ship?
Apparently, I didn't spend very long.
Well, she was asleep. I was there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Then we had to drag her ass back, so about 2.5 hours total.
I might have woke up before then.
You were pretty knocked out. I don't know what someone put in your drink, but it wasn't just Amistad.
Yeah, maybe one of the armsmen have some smelling salt or something to wake someone up. It's quite common to just go on a bend when you're shore leaves. Not impossible that they carry something like that around.
I'm not going to try my luck rolling again to see how.
I mean, if you really need to, like if there is a situation where you need to drive the ship, for example, I'm sure someone on the ship has detox.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
Maybe
back
she
in
just
5
needed
minutes.
a nap.
All right.
If you want to just finish up, everybody getting back to the ship.
Right. Yeah, Cornelius and Maine. I think yours maybe travel time included probably takes roughly 2 hours, maybe. I don't know if I gave you a timeline or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, after you conclude the business, you come back to the ship. Again, there's just some gravity nonsense interfering, but otherwise it's an uneventful journey back.
Yeah, I make those arrangements as well that Serge asked for, and as soon as I get back to the ship and start sending people out to fetch orders of stuff on the list.
Yeah, there's a bit of a list of things, but yeah, it's not too difficult to get there, especially not with the current carnage fever going on. Like everyone wants a piece of the beast trade at the moment. So it's the latest craze in these parts. But yeah, would you all mind if we took like a 5-minute break or something like that?
Oh man, I was actually gonna.
That's
I was gonna
fine.
ask about that because I need to get some coffee. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm contemplating coffee.
I just passed
sleepier
by
than normal.
a chair of meat. I tasted it, and I just ate some liver, and it's disgusting.
Dude, liver is amazing. What the
Liver's
fuck is
disgusting.
wrong with you?